Um, yeah, I mean, the first priority for me is to win the fight. So when I lose, I'm disappointed, no matter how it is received. Um, I got a lot of positive feedback on the fight, that people were happy with it. Um, so I saw the voting on Instagram, and I saw that we were doing good. I guess that my last opponent has a lot of fans because he was dominating all the fans voting. Um, and then I just received the mail from DHL that I have mail on the way. Uh, and I asked Zlatko Mahic about it, and he told me that Brave is sending me the reward that I wanted. So I was of course happy, and that all the fans this enjoyed the fight. Um, but hopefully this year I can win like performance of the year or fighter of the year or something like that. In when I win some the fight actually. Yeah, I was born in Ljubljana, in the capital of Slovenia, and then I lived with my mother, father, and my grandma, my mother's mom, in Črnuče, which is a part of Ljubljana, of the capital. So I had a pretty good upbringing. I was in sports most of my life. I started out with football, soccer for the USA. Uh, I'm not exactly sure, but I started at like 6 or something like that. Um, and then I was a goalkeeper, and I was quite successful. Uh, I was training at NK Črnuče, and we were winning most of the tournaments. I even got some trophies for the best goalkeeper. Um, I have good memories about my football days. But then I started watching tennis, and I fall in love with that sport, and I preferred it because still in football we were playing as a team, and then always someone was blamed for the goals or the losses, and I didn't like that. So I prefer the single sports where you are all dependent on yourself. Um, so I basically started with what the first match I watched was Rafael Nadal against Roger Federer in Roland Garros in the semifinals, when Nadal won the first of his many Garroses. Um, and I became an instant fan of Rafa, because of his work ethic. He was always fighting for till the very end. Never broke a record. Was always respectful to everyone. Um, so I just liked his character on the court and off the court. Uh, and I was even doing conditioning sessions by myself when I was 10 years old. Um, just because I had such a passion for the sport. And then my dream was to become a professional tennis player. But then my parents got a divorce when I was 12 years old, um, and then I had to stop training tennis because it's a very expensive sport, and my parents couldn't afford it anymore. So I tried handball for a few months, but I wasn't really happy with it. It was quite far. So then I kind of ended with sports for like 2 years, like from 13 to 15. Uh, I didn't do any sport, and I got fat. Like I was like 155 centimeters tall and weighing like 80 kilograms plus. Uh, so when I went to high school, uh, we had a very good PE teacher that was very motivating. So we were running in the fall, and then in the winter we went to fitness, and I saw that I was not only fat, but I was also weak, which I didn't think that I'm also weak. So then I kind of realized that my life isn't on the right path. And then I joined the fitness like the same month that we went into it the first time. And then I lost weight. Like I started with a bit over 80 kilograms. Then I dieted down to like 56 kilograms. And I also found out about, I was watching a lot of YouTube, a lot of American fitness influencers, and I also found out about mixed martial arts uh, when I was watching the fitness videos. So I started watching closely mixed martial arts at 15, and then I even tried. I even trained in Ljubljana when I was 16, but only for half a year because my mom needed to drive me, and then she went to college because she wanted to better her life, and she couldn't drive me anymore, so I had to stop then. And then I was just doing fitness and weightlifting, like the Olympic weightlifting. We have a club in Domžale, so I was doing that like 2 or 3 years, and I was junior national champion, and even in the elite males, I was national champion once. And then I met Bor, who is my coach now till this day. And basically, a few friends were talking with him, and they wanted to start training MMA just so they could defend themselves outside at nightclubs and stuff like that. But I knew that if I started training mixed martial arts, my goal is to go professional because I was already in love with the sport. I just needed the opportunity to train it. So when I first met Bor, he said he's planning on opening a gym. And then we started training in like October or November 8 years ago. So that's like, and then he opened a gym in April next year. So we are training in a gym now for 7 years. And I started right away with, I was doing double sessions, like first it was boxing, then it was wrestling and grappling stuff. So I think I was getting pretty good quite soon, and then we went to first amateur fight like a year and a half later. And then since then I was trying to get as many fights as possible in mixed martial arts. And then in the Corona times, I even started amateur boxing because the mixed martial arts was kind of dying. There were no events. There seemed like there might be no future for mixed martial arts, at least for us in Slovenia. But boxing was a great opportunity, so I got like 20 boxing matches in that time. And then I went pro in December 2020, and then 2022, and that's so a bit over a year ago. And then since then, everything has been great. I had my first fight in Brave in April of last year, and I'm very pleased with the organization, and hopefully I can have many more fights here. Yeah, definitely. I have been drawing inspiration from that like since I was 10 years old, and I feel like anyone can achieve anything with hard work. You just need to put yourself like everything you have into it, and you can be successful in anything. I choose mixed martial arts, but I'm sure if I tried something else and worked as hard as I'm working at this, I could be successful at other things as well. And I think that Nadal showed us. I mean, he doesn't seem like he has the most of talent. He has a lot of injuries, but he pushes through, and he still can keep up with anyone. First, it was just regular fitness for
Yeah.
just to lose weight,
Yeah, to lose
uh,
weight. And then
and
after
then
you,
I started with mixed martial arts already in a gym in Ljubljana, but it
uh,
was far away, and we have poor public transport, so I
mhm.
couldn't travel with the public transport. So my mom was driving me, and then she went off to college. So she was working full time and doing college with it, so she couldn't drive me anymore. So I just continued going to fitness, and then I found out about weightlifting. So I started weightlifting, and it was like from 17 to 20 or something like that. Um, I'm just like that kind of guy in my life. When I do something, I do it all the way. I don't half-ass anything. Um, so I knew if I start to train it, I'm not trying to get punched in the face just for hobby. Uh, and also, I think it was partly because I was 20 years old. Uh, I was probably a bit cockier. Uh, and I thought that like no one can beat me or something like that. Uh, at least that's what I see with other kids of that age. I can't remember like exactly how I was, what my mentality was like, um, but I was definitely confident about it that if like I train, then like no one can beat me. Um, which over training sessions and stuff, you realize that like anyone can beat you, but if you put the work in, it's really not that hard to be successful at it. Yeah, when I was training football and tennis, it was definitely that's going to be my professional profession. I'm going to be a professional sportman. Um, but then when I had to stop tennis, when I was going to fitness and for weightlifting, I didn't saw this as something I would go professional in, just because in fitness and in weightlifting, you kind of need to use steroids, and I knew I wasn't willing to do that to my body just to be successful at some sport. Um, so I was doing just that as a hobby, but like weightlifting, I was still like I was training every day, no matter what was happening. Even when I was sick, I went to the training session. So I had competitive aspirations, but only on a local scene, not to be like a world champion or anything like that.
This.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was pretty big just because I was a very happy kid. Like both parents were great with me. Like they were driving me around. They pushed me. Not pushed, but they wanted me to do sports as well. I mean, it was my decision which sport and how often do I want to do it. But they definitely wanted me to be active in some sports, because they saw it as being good for development of a child. Um, and then basically when they divorced, um, like I don't want to exactly talk about everything, but like my father had like some financial issues that he brought on himself, um, and that's why they got divorced. So it was kind of more difficult for me, like financially, after they got divorced when I was 13 years old. So I I got more of understanding of the financial picture. Um, and also I didn't have as much fun anymore just because the like I thought they were going to be together forever. It wasn't like we had problems like for 10 years or that, like they were fighting at home all the time. It was nothing like that. It was happy marriage until mom found out about some stuff that my dad did. So yeah, it was difficult for me, but like I don't even really remember those 2-3 years after that when I was like fat and stuff. They're just kind of a blur. And then I think I got over it in the high school, and then I just kind of accepted it and moved on with my life.
Do you think that helped you mature faster as a person and as a man as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, definitely. I matured faster, but I'm not sure if that's like a good thing or a good thing or a bad thing. Uh, but here we are. I mean, I still have great relationship with both of them. Still see both of them regularly. Um, so I mean, it's a thing of a past, and we can't change any of it.